Writing guns in fantasy is way more difficult than you think, and it took me a long time as a writer to get it right. Imagine you had a world with all these characters and abilities, fire powers and wind powers and so on. Suddenly there's this one character who just points his finger at anyone and that person just dies. This is what guns are. For normal fantasy writers, this is usually not a problem since their stories take place sometime in the Middle Ages. But in an urban setting, this is a problem. So what can you do about this? The effectiveness of firearms can be viewed as a spectrum, where every piece of fiction falls somewhere in here. It goes all the way from useless to realistic. The far left and the most obvious one is making all kinds of guns weak as hell. They exist, but might as well not exist, because human abilities just outshine them. This is where characters slice bullets in half using a sword, dodge them, or just tank shots like they're made of metal. The good thing here is that you can show just how strong the characters are compared to regular people, which leads to the far right, having realistically strong guns but layering magical abilities on top. Here, guns are a powerful presence. The characters can't ignore them at all, or they will be at a massive disadvantage. They can't rely on their ability in isolation, which makes these super powerful ability moments way more difficult to write in a good way. Because if you establish that guns can kill anyone at any time, viewers or readers will expect that to happen. And somewhere between those two means that guns work most of the times. They are effective but limited by the settings magic system in some way. For example, guns are ineffective against some kind of magical being, which forces the characters to use their abilities instead. There are some cases where the strength of the guns is never established, and since most urban fantasy writers pick the far left of the spectrum, most people expect guns to be weak as well. So going anywhere above 0 on the spectrum will subvert audience expectations, especially when they haven't been used before and suddenly appear like in Chainsaw Man or Jujutsu Kaisen. And all of that is pretty important to know because I am writing an urban fantasy novel that has weapons in it. For me personally, I like both traditional weapons and guns as well. It depends on the situation. The magic is called spiritual energy, and since different kinds of metals are already affected differently by this magic, fitting lead bullets in was very simple. Basically, when any kind of lead approaches a source of spiritual energy, it slows down until coming to a standstill. Now you might think that this makes guns obsolete, but unlike any other magic system I've seen, in the one I've created, the character abilities are often dependent on if their enemy has spiritual energy turned on or not. So throughout a fight they will dynamically turn it on and off, which leaves rooms for guns to be both effective and have a critical flaw at the same time.